Hello, I'm Juan Davies, Chief Creative Officer at KCT and PBS SoCal, and I'm joined by the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. How's everyone?
Good, thanks.
Thank you.
And thanks again for joining us, news editor Suzanne Levy. Robert, we talked about how hard it has been for families who have not been able to visit loved ones in nursing homes, but the same thing is happening in psychiatric facilities, correct?
Yeah, I've been talking with a mom whose son is living with schizophrenia and is getting care at a locked mental health facility in Long Beach. I went with her to see her son the other day. The only way she's able to do that is by cutting through the bushes to get to his closed window where they kind of talk through the darkened glass. It's really hard for her because, she's used to visiting him for hours at a time. At last check, there had been 19 coronavirus cases at this particular facility, which has about 190 clients, and there was one COVID-related death. I talked with Long Beach's health officer, and she said, maybe skilled nursing facilities is what you hear about, but there's also concern for any kind of population that's living in close contact. The mom had a scare some weeks back when her son's new roommate tested positive. She was relieved when her son's test came back negative. With the surge of cases we're seeing, the facility isn't opening up visiting hours right now, so this mom and her son have to keep waiting out the pandemic in limbo.
It's also not easy to be a restaurant owner right now. Julia's been talking to a woman in Burbank who has a diner there.
That's right, Suzanne. I spoke with Karen Ross. She and her brother own Talleyrand Restaurant in Burbank. It's a classic diner that their parents opened up in 1969. Ross says that she and her staff of about 15 people were very excited to return to work when restaurants opened again for sit-down service on June 3rd. But operating at only 60% capacity has really not been the moneymaker that they'd hoped. It's still hard for Ross, but they do have the benefit of having an outdoor patio where they've added a few tables. They've added tables in the parking lot as well, but it's still only 11 compared to normally 45 at a time. She also has a lot of devoted regulars, including many senior citizens. And Ross has said that she has tried to stay in touch, but it's just not the same social connection that customers get when they come in for a morning coffee and then come back for lunch or dinner nearly every day.
Project Roomkey moved thousands of homeless Californians into hotel rooms to protect them from the pandemic. Matt's been looking into what's going to happen afterwards.
So Project Roomkey is sheltering about 3,800 unhoused Angelenos right now in hotels, but it was never going to be a permanent program. And well, by now, the sunset is beginning to approach. So now in LA County, we have an ambitious COVID-19 recovery plan, which is intended to move those in the hotels along with many, many others quickly into more permanent housing situations. LA County this week has committed $300 million towards the recovery plan, largely using money from the Federal CARES Act. You might remember that officials wanted to house 15,000 people through Project Roomkey in LA County. That goal was never met, but the recovery plan still wants to house those 15,000 people. Those are people who are homeless and over 65 or medically vulnerable. Part of the plan involves acquiring some of those Project Roomkey hotels and turning them into permanent housing, but also the plan is just lease apartments at houses and then subsidize the rent.
And lastly, you may have noticed that there hasn't been much filming around LA due to the pandemic. It is restarting though. John has that story.
First of all, near total loss. That's how Film LA, which is the organization that tracks location, TV, and film production, describes the pandemic's impact on filming. Compared to a year ago, shooting in the second quarter in Los Angeles County was down a staggering 98% from a year ago, and that counts commercial, TV, and film production. And even though cases are surging, there have been some indications that production is going to resume in fits and starts. And one such project is from Michael Bay, he of Transformers fame, slightly smaller movie this time. The project is called Songbird. It is about, yes, a pandemic, and they insist that they have protocols in place to protect the cast and crew, but not everybody is happy. One Boyle Heights resident whose home is near where filming is going to take place shot us an email, and he said the film is insulting to everyone suffering during this time.
Thank you, John. I mean, we have been having to take a lot of precautions, and I think it's going to take some time for all of us to adapt to just new ways of operating. At any rate, thank you all at the KPCC and LA's newsroom, and thank you for tuning in. Take care of your health, your family, your neighbor, and we will see you tomorrow.